Ladies and gentlemen, reality is not something that happens to you, it is something you shape. Your world, your circumstances, your experiences, they all bend to the force of your assumptions. If you truly understand this, you will no longer look at life as something outside of your control. You will realize that you have always been the creator. The secret lies in your imagination. The images you hold, the feelings you entertain, the states you accept as true, these are the unseen forces molding your destiny. The world is simply reflecting back to you the assumptions you persist in. There is no luck, no external fate deciding for you. There is only you and the reality you dare to assume. If you want to change your life, you must first change your mind. Do not wait for evidence. Assume the state of being you desire and let the world shift accordingly. Feel now as if you already are who you wish to be. Walk as though your desire is fulfilled. Speak as though it is done. Let every thought, every movement, every breath carry the conviction that it is already yours. Doubt will whisper, reality will test you, but you must not waver. What you persist in assuming hardens into fact. You are not a victim of circumstance, you are the master of your fate. Assume boldly, persist unwaveringly, and watch as life bends to your command. Believe in the unseen, live in the feeling of your wish fulfilled, and know what you assume you become. The world you experience is not separate from your mind. It is an exact reflection of your dominant assumptions. Everything you believe to be true about yourself, about life, about what is possible, is continuously shaping and molding the reality you live in. This is not wishful thinking or blind optimism. It is an unbreakable law of existence. Your external world is nothing more than a mirror, reflecting back to you the assumptions you have accepted, whether consciously or unconsciously. You are never at the mercy of circumstances. Rather, circumstances are at the mercy of your inner state. Every thought you persistently hold, every feeling you dwell in, every assumption you entertain creates an unseen blueprint. The world then organizes itself around this blueprint, manifesting conditions, events, and experiences that correspond precisely to the assumptions you hold. If you assume that life is a struggle, you will encounter endless obstacles. If you assume you are lucky and things always work out for you, doors will open where none seem to exist before. The outer world is simply following the pattern you have set within. It does not create, it only reflects. Most people live under the illusion that reality is something happening to them, something outside of their control. They react to events, allowing their assumptions to be dictated by what they see, rather than realizing that what they see is the result of what they have already assumed. This cycle traps them in an endless loop, reacting to circumstances, reinforcing limiting beliefs, and unknowingly creating more of the same. But the moment one wakes up to the truth that assumptions shape experience, everything changes. Instead of reacting, they begin to deliberately assume the reality they desire. Your assumptions are not passive thoughts, they are living forces, shaping your destiny in ways you may not yet comprehend. Even the smallest, most casual assumptions hold power. If you believe that people are generally kind and helpful, you will encounter kindness at every turn. If you assume people are dishonest and selfish, you will continuously find evidence to support that belief. The world is a neutral canvas, painting itself according to the colors of your consciousness. Whatever you consistently assume, whether good or bad, will find its way into your life. To change your reality, you must first change your assumptions. It is not enough to hope, to wish, or to merely want. Assumption demands certainty. You must dwell in the feeling of your wish fulfilled, accepting it as truth before any physical evidence appears. You must refuse to let appearances dictate your beliefs and instead hold firm to the assumption of what you desire. The world has no choice but to conform to the convictions you carry. Whether you realize it or not, you are always assuming something, and those assumptions are continuously shaping the reality you live in. Imagination is not a mere tool for fantasy or idle daydreaming. It is the creative force behind everything that exists. Every great achievement, every innovation, and every transformation in the world began first as an idea in someone's imagination. It is through imagination that we create, shape, and define our reality. What you vividly imagine and persistently feel as true has the power to materialize in your life. The mind is the master architect, and imagination is its blueprint. When you learn to use it deliberately, you hold the key to infinite possibilities. Most people use their imagination unconsciously, allowing it to be guided by fear, doubt, and external circumstances. They picture worst-case scenarios, relive past failures, and envision obstacles rather than opportunities. And because imagination is the creative power, it faithfully brings those negative assumptions into their reality. What they do not realize is that imagination, when consciously directed, can reshape their entire existence. The secret is to use it purposefully, to dwell in the mental state of the person you wish to become, to see yourself already possessing the things you desire, and to feel as though it is already done. When you close your eyes and enter the world of imagination, you are stepping into the realm where all things are possible. It does not matter what your current circumstances are. They hold no real power over you. The only power they have is the meaning you assign to them. Through imagination, you can rise above any limitation, transcend any obstacle, and call forth any reality you choose. What you consistently imagine and accept as true will harden into fact. Life does not respond to what you wish for. It responds to what you assume to be real. Every breakthrough in human history was made by those who dared to trust in the unseen. They saw with the inner eye what others could not yet perceive. They felt the reality of their dreams before the world gave them proof. They did not wait for evidence. They created it through the power of imagination. Whether it was inventors, artists, visionaries, or leaders, they all had one thing in common: an unshakable belief in what they imagined. And because they held to that vision, the world conformed to their inner reality. Your imagination is limitless, and it is always at your command. The question is, how are you using it? Are you shaping a future of abundance, success, and fulfillment? Or are you unconsciously reinforcing struggle and lack? The power is in your hands. If you can imagine it clearly and feel it deeply, it is already yours. Reality is simply waiting to catch up with the world you have created in your mind. Reality is not a rigid, unchanging force that dictates your life. It is fluid, ever-shifting, and completely malleable to the power of your consciousness. The world you experience is not separate from you. It is a reflection of your inner state, your beliefs, and your assumptions. What seems solid and immovable is, in truth, a mirror responding to the thoughts you persistently hold. The moment you understand that reality is not something to be accepted, but something to be shaped, you awaken to your true power. Most people believe that life happens to them, that they are subject to circumstances beyond their control. They accept the conditions of the world as absolute, never questioning that they have the ability to change them. But those who understand the nature of reality know that nothing is fixed. Everything in your external world is in constant motion, shifting in accordance with the dominant ideas and feelings you hold within. What may seem impossible today can become inevitable tomorrow if you dare to assume it as true. The evidence of the senses is deceptive, for it only shows you what you have previously believed and accepted. If you allow appearances to dictate your assumptions, you will remain trapped in a cycle of repetition, recreating the same experiences over and over. But if you look beyond what is and focus instead on what can be, you will break free from limitation. The key is to persist in the assumption of your desired reality, regardless of what the present moment appears to be. Reality does not dictate your assumptions. Your assumptions dictate reality. History is filled with examples of individuals who refused to accept their circumstances as fixed. They saw possibilities where others saw dead ends, and through the conviction of their imagination, they reshaped the world. The greatest minds, the boldest visionaries, the most successful individuals, all operated from an understanding that reality bends to belief. They did not accept what was, they created what would be. And so can you. If you wish to change any aspect of your life, you must first recognize that nothing is set in stone. Your current conditions are not permanent. They are only the result of past assumptions. The moment you assume something new and persist in that assumption, the world will shift accordingly. There are no limits except those you accept. Reality is not a prison. It is a canvas, and you are the artist. The world teaches you to believe only in what you can see, hear, and touch. It tells you that proof must come first, that evidence must be present before you can accept something as true. But this is a deception. Reality does not work that way. Everything that exists first began as an unseen assumption, an idea held firmly in mind before the world had any proof of it. If you wait for evidence before believing, you will remain stuck in the same cycle, constantly reacting to circumstances instead of creating them. The truth is that assumption precedes reality. You must first accept something as true in your mind before it can become true in your world. This is not about wishful thinking or mere hope. It is about a deep, unwavering conviction that what you desire is already yours. Your assumption is the seed, and the physical world is the soil in which it grows. If you plant the seed and nurture it with belief, it must take root and manifest in due time. The moment you assume something with feeling and persistence, reality begins shifting to bring it into form. Most people make the mistake of looking to the outside world for confirmation before they dare to believe. They say, "I will feel successful when I see success," or "I will believe in my dream when I have proof it is possible." But this is like waiting for a fire to give you warmth before you put in the wood. The process works in reverse. You must first feel and assume your success, your abundance, your fulfillment, before the world reflects it back to you. The law is simple. What you assume as true with full conviction will become your experience. This is why persistence is so important. The world may not shift instantly. There may be moments when nothing seems to be changing, but if you remain steadfast in your assumption, if you continue to believe in the unseen despite all appearances, the evidence must come. It has no choice. Reality is not separate from you, it is responding to you. Every great inventor, every visionary, every person who has transformed their life has understood this principle. They believed before they saw. They assumed before the world gave them proof. So ask yourself, what are you assuming right now? Are you assuming struggle, limitation, and failure? Or are you assuming success, ease, and fulfillment? The choice is always yours. Do not wait for evidence. Create it. Assume now the reality you desire. Persist in that assumption and let the world rearrange itself accordingly. To bring any desire into reality, you must first experience it within yourself. The feeling of already having what you want is the key that unlocks its manifestation. Most people believe they will feel successful, happy, or fulfilled only after they achieve their desires. But this is an illusion. The truth is, you must feel it first before any physical evidence appears. The world does not create your emotions. Your emotions create your world. When you live in the feeling of your wish fulfilled, you impress that reality upon your subconscious mind, and the outer world must conform. Your feelings are not passive reactions to life, they are active forces shaping your destiny. If you constantly feel lack, worry, or doubt, you are reinforcing a reality where those conditions persist. But if you can generate the feeling of already possessing your desire, you set in motion the unseen forces that bring it into form. This is not pretending or forcing yourself to be happy. It is an inner shift, a deep acceptance that what you seek is already yours. You must feel the relief, the gratitude, the excitement, as though your wish has already come true. The power of feeling lies in its ability to bypass resistance. Logical thinking often argues against your desires, telling you why something is impossible or why it will take time. But feeling bypasses logic and goes straight to creation. When you truly feel something, your mind accepts it as real. This is why memories and dreams can stir deep emotions. They are real to your consciousness, even if they are not physically present. The same principle applies to manifestation. What you feel to be true in your inner world will soon become true in your outer world. One of the greatest secrets of creation is learning to live from the end. This means carrying yourself as the person who already has what they desire. How would you think, speak, and act if your wish were fulfilled? How would you move through the world if you already had the success, love, health, or wealth you seek? By stepping into that state now, you align yourself with the reality you desire. Your external world must then shift to reflect this new state of being. The key is to persist in the feeling, regardless of appearances. Do not let the absence of physical evidence shake your conviction. Reality is always catching up to your inner world. Feel it now, live in it now, and trust that what you assume as true will soon become your experience. The difference between those who manifest their desires and those who do not is persistence. Most people allow circumstances to dictate their beliefs, changing their assumptions based on what they see. But the truth is, reality does not shape your beliefs. Your beliefs shape reality. The moment you persist in an assumption, despite the absence of physical evidence, you set into motion the unseen forces that will eventually harden your assumption into fact. However, this requires unwavering commitment. You cannot assume something today, doubt it tomorrow, and expect success. Persistence is the bridge between imagination and realization. Every great transformation, every success, every breakthrough comes from those who refuse to give up. The world will test you, not because it is against you, but because it reflects back to you the strength of your belief. If you assume something and quickly abandon it at the first sign of contradiction, you were never truly convinced. But if you hold fast to your assumption, despite what your senses tell you, you prove to yourself and the universe that your belief is unshakable. And what is unshakable must manifest. Most people make the mistake of reacting to their current reality instead of persisting in their vision. They assume wealth, but then look at their empty bank account and let doubt creep in. They assume love, but then see no change in their relationships and return to old patterns of thinking. This is why so many remain stuck, because they let external conditions dictate their internal state. The secret is to persist in your assumption until the outer world conforms, no matter how long it takes. The mind will try to tempt you into doubt, offering logical reasons why your desire is impossible. But logic is only based on past experiences, while assumption creates new ones. You must train yourself to ignore appearances and trust in the unseen. The world is always shifting to match your dominant state of mind. If you persist in lack, you will experience more lack. If you persist in abundance, abundance will find you. The law is always working. It is only a question of what you persist in assuming. So ask yourself, are you persisting in the assumption of your success, or are you wavering at the first sign of difficulty? The choice is always yours. Hold firm in your belief, refuse to let temporary appearances shake you, and know that what you persist in assuming must inevitably become your reality. Doubt is the silent force that robs you of your desires before they can manifest. It creeps in when you look to the world for confirmation, when you let appearances dictate what you believe to be possible. Doubt tells you to wait for proof, to hesitate, to question whether what you seek is truly meant for you. But the truth is, the only thing standing between you and your desired reality is your willingness to believe in it without needing external validation. The moment you give in to doubt, you undo the work of your imagination. Most people are unaware of how destructive doubt is. They assume for a moment, they feel the excitement of possibility, but then they check their current circumstances and see no immediate change. Instead of persisting, they allow doubt to take over, and in doing so, they reaffirm the very reality they were trying to change. The world reflects your dominant state of mind. If you entertain doubt more than certainty, you will manifest delay, struggle, and stagnation. It is not because your desire was unattainable, but because you refused to hold firm in its reality. Doubt disguises itself as logic, but logic is only based on what has been, not on what can be. If you live by logic alone, you will continue repeating past experiences, bound by the limitations of what your senses can currently perceive. But if you reject doubt and persist in the unseen reality of your fulfilled desire, you will break free from. This is not wishful thinking. It is the law of assumption in action. You must believe in your new reality more than you believe in the absence of it. There is no external force working against you. There is only your own mind either working for you or against you. When you assume something is true and refuse to waver, reality must conform. But the moment you question, hesitate, or entertain the idea that it may not happen, you weaken your creation. This is why persistence is so vital. Every great success, every manifested dream, every life-changing transformation came to those who refused to doubt, no matter how things appeared. So guard your mind carefully. Let no doubt take root in your consciousness. Assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled and do not entertain anything that contradicts it. The battle is never against circumstances. It is only against the voice of doubt within. Overcome that, and there is nothing you cannot create. No external force, no circumstance, no person has power over you unless you grant it to them. You are the sole creator of your reality, the master of your fate, and the architect of your destiny. The world you experience is nothing more than the outpicturing of your inner state, your assumptions, beliefs, and dominant thoughts. If you wish to change your life, you must first recognize that you are the one shaping it. The power has always been in your hands, whether you have used it consciously or not. Most people live as if they are at the mercy of life, reacting to events instead of creating them. They blame circumstances, luck, or fate for their condition, never realizing that everything they experience is a reflection of their own inner world. But the moment you awaken to the truth that you are the master of your fate, everything changes. You stop looking outside yourself for solutions and begin looking within. You take responsibility for your assumptions, knowing that they are the seeds of tomorrow's reality. Your power lies in your ability to assume and persist. What you accept as true in your imagination must, by law, manifest in your world. There is no exception to this rule. The only question is, are you consciously directing your assumptions, or are you allowing old beliefs and external influences to dictate them for you? When you fully embrace your creative power, you no longer wait for life to change. You assume the change now and let reality conform to your will. Doubt, fear, and hesitation will try to deceive you into believing that you are powerless, that things happen to you rather than through you. But this is the greatest illusion of all. The truth is, every moment You are shaping your future by what you choose to believe. If you assume success, it must come. If you assume struggle, it will persist. The world does not decide for you, you decide for yourself. You are not subject to fate, you are fate in motion. So stand firm in your awareness, assume your ideal reality, persist in that assumption, and refuse to waver. The world may not shift overnight, but it must shift. There is no force stronger than the conviction of one who knows their own power. You are the master of your fate, the creator of your destiny, and the only authority in your reality. Assume it, believe it, live it, and watch the world mold itself to your command. Everything you have ever desired is already within your reach, waiting for you to claim it. The only requirement is that you assume it, believe in it, and persist in that belief until it becomes your reality. No one else can do this for you. Only you have the power to shape your fate. From this moment forward, refuse to let doubt, fear, or external circumstances dictate what is possible for you. Stand in the knowing that reality bends to your assumptions, that the world is not fixed but fluid, responding always to the state of your mind. Now, ask yourself, what are you choosing to assume? What reality are you shaping with your thoughts and feelings? Decide now to assume the best, to live from the end, to persist in the feeling of your wish fulfilled. You are not powerless. You are not bound by fate. You are the creator, the master, the one who determines what will be. Step into that power, embrace it fully, and watch as life unfolds in perfect harmony with your vision. It is already done. Now, go forth and live it.